There is a name for the moment a lake freezes over with a thin sheet of ice as smooth and crystal clear as a pane of glass. It's called wild ice. It doesn't happen every year. The conditions must be just right, and it's not always safe to go out on it. But by some sheer stroke of beautiful luck, we are here in Alaska in the right place at the right time. Come, let us take you out to experience wild ice, not just once, but twice, in two stunning locations at two very different stages of the Alaskan winter. But how risky is this activity? How thick does ice have to be to safely skate on it? And how does the ice produce these otherworldly sounds beneath our feet? Explore and learn with us as together we venture out onto wild ice. We begin at a completely different time of year. This is Tern Lake on Alaska's Kenai Peninsula in autumn. In contrast to the peninsula's deep glacially carved lakes, Tern Lake is shallow, its abundant underwater vegetation clearly visible just beneath the surface. We've often wondered what this lake would look like were it to glass over in wild ice, and now we know. Tern Lake freezes over every winter, but not always like this. The formation of wild ice is a bit of a Goldilocks scenario. It requires just the right combination of a certain set of conditions. Rather than give it away, here's an opportunity to play detective and try to guess just what those specific coinciding conditions might be. The landscape and the ice itself will give us clues. In fact, from here the ice screams out one important clue, and that is its color. Why does it appear almost black? Ponder and mull over this clue number one. While from up here the ice may look black, from down there you can be assured that it is quite a different story. So cool. It's one of the coolest things I've ever experienced. Look at that crack. Oh, so cool. The plants below look like they are frozen in ice, but they are not. The ice below our feet does not reach all the way to them. It's simply that the plants are perfectly still. There is very little current moving them about, and that is clue number two. Oh my gosh, it's like glass. Ice like this is a skater's dream. It is unbelievably buttery smooth. How lucky then that this just happens to be a certain someone's first time learning to skate on ice. Hey, love.
Trying to get used to it. It's kind of weird. I mean, I've done it a couple of times, but only for a little bit of time, so I never got the time to learn it.
You got it.
So much fun.
The ice is talking. Hey, what you think?
That's pretty cool.
Oh.
It's kind of scary when you hear the ice making those sounds.
We'll talk more about those otherworldly sounds in a bit. This is amazing. It's hard to describe this, and it's really hard to show it with the camera, but it's just so cool. It's just like flying. You can see the lake bed. You can see all the plants and everything, like it's just there, like you're floating on the water itself. It's really hard to capture it with the camera, but this is surreal. This is so cool. I've never experienced anything like this. There's a fish under there. Salmon. Need for speed! I'm not the best skater, but I do enjoy it. It's nostalgic. I grew up in Wisconsin, and I played some ringette and hockey over the years. Jose Luis grew up in Nicaragua, so skating wasn't quite on the menu, but he is learning incredibly fast. And speaking of hockey, as mentioned, wild ice is a special treat, and the locals are soaking it up while it's here. As we continue to enjoy the sensation of flying over a glassy mirror, take special note of the surrounding landscape, for therein lies clue number 3. What do you notice about this area right now? What do you see? Or perhaps more accurately, what don't you see? The answer is snow. We are still early in the winter season, and except for the high reaches of the mountains, there has been very little precipitation. The clues begin to come together. A lake with calm waters, a region that has seen little snow but obviously cold enough temperatures to freeze the surface of a lake. A surface that appears black because it is transparent. Light passes easily through the ice, and all of its wavelengths are absorbed by the water and lake bottom below. Nothing is reflected back to our eyes, and so we see black. We will come back to all these clues and how they tie together the next time we skate upon wild ice, which will take some time. After all, no 2 winters are the same, and you never know if magic will strike twice. We are now in deep winter, and the snow has shown up in force. In fact, this year is shaping up to be the second snowiest winter on record for the city of Anchorage. Here in Seward, we aren't breaking any records yet, but it's still a heck of a lot of snow. Time moves quickly as we plow through our work, soak up the beauty of the Alaskan winter, and receive a few surprise visitors. One bit of unfinished business remains, and during one winter day, our friend Mark teaches us how to turn all those high bush cranberries we foraged on Skilac Lake Road into spicy homemade jelly. If you're curious how it's done, follow along. It starts with boiling the cranberries just until the skins break. While they heat away, we sterilize the jars with boiling water. We sterilize the lids and bands as well. These are 4-ounce ball jars with sure-tight lids, by the way. Once the skin on the cranberries begins to break, we crush them with a potato masher. It is quite satisfying, and it's hard not to feel like a potion master at work. Then we strain and continue to crush the cranberries. We are trying to get as much juice from the berries as we can, as that will be the base for the jelly. In all, 1 gallon of cranberries will give us about 8 cups of juice. It is tart and sour. Of course, after sugar is added, it will be sweet, but also spicy. Mark's recipe packs a little punch, and we are all about that. Now, Jose Luis is much more practiced with a chef's knife, so he does the honor of mincing up a jalapeno. We add the jalapeno and 2 tablespoons of dried chili flakes to the cranberry juice, along with 9 cups of white sugar. You heard that right, 9 cups. Jelly is delicious, but no one said it was the healthiest treat out there. We boil the mixture for 10 minutes, giving plenty of time for the juice to get good and spicy. And then for the magic. We mix in 2 packets of fruit pectin and let it boil for 1 more minute. And now we can. We fill each jar, avoiding drips on the rims. Of course, I proceed to do just that, so we have to wipe a couple rims clean. Finally, we place the lids on top, loosely secure the bands, and leave the jars to cool over 24 hours. As they cool, we will hear the satisfying pop of the lids self-sealing. We are lucky. All the lids popped down, so the seals were successful. By the way, if the center of a jar still flexes, the seal was not successful and your jelly must be refrigerated and eaten right away. Sealed jars are shelf-stable for up to 18 months, according to the Ball Jar Company. Though we doubt that these will last that long, as they are slated to be gifts for friends and family. We just got the news that Portage Lake froze up and that it's like prime skating right now. We're in Seward. It's a bit of a drive, but we're going to take the drive and do it so that we can experience this amazing thing and bring you along with us. Portage Lake is about a 2-hour drive from Seward. We must drive the Seward Highway across the Kenai Peninsula in the height of winter. Most visitors experience Alaska in the spring, summer, and early fall. But to be honest, we feel that winter is the most magical season of them all. On days like this, when the sky is blue and the road is clean, nothing beats a road trip across wintertime Alaska. We come down into the upper Tern arm, currently being all epic with a thick blanket of mist hugging the ground. Then we turn right on Portage Glacier Road and head back into one of our favorite corners of Alaska. As you know from episode 9, one of our favorite wild camping spots is nestled in this valley. Access to the lake is right at the Baggage Bogs Visitor Center, which is closed for the winter, but whose access road remains plowed. The news is out, and right now, Portage Lake is the place to be. Smooth, skatable ice doesn't happen every year, and when it does, who knows if you'll catch the window. So when this happens, Alaskans take advantage and live it up. Some go out on skates, some on foot, and some even on fat tire bikes. By the way, these are hockey skates, which are quite different from figure skates. Many in Alaska prefer Nordic skates, which takes some getting used to, but we hear they are the best way to enjoy wild ice.
Oh, hi there. So these are called ice picks, and you want to carry them with you around your neck. Just in case you fall through, you use them to get yourself out of the ice. If you fall through, you only have a little bit of time to work, so they're important to have. But we're not going to fall through today. Vámonos.
3 days ago, Portage Lake was in prime wild ice condition. Already it has changed so much. It may look like snow has fallen on the ice, but if you look closer, you'll find it's infinitely more beautiful than that. These are often called frost flowers or ice blossoms. In truth, this is hoarfrost, which forms when water skips the liquid phase completely, transforming instantly from vapor to ice. It is mesmerizing to look at. The frost is especially thick where cracks recently opened in the ice and then froze over once more.
It's super trippy and surreal to be out on the lake like this, surrounded by the mountains. It's just awesome. There's something about the light at this time of year, and the shadows on the mountains. It's just really beautiful. Oh, Jose Luis. So if you're wondering whether it makes us nervous to be out here, slightly, but the ice is really thick, and it's been this thick for like 3 days, and a lot of people have been coming out here for like 3 days, so it's pretty much been tested, tried and true. But if you're wondering if seeing cracks makes us a little nervous, then not gonna lie, yep, it does. But things are gonna make you scared in life, and you gotta decide whether they're gonna stop you or not. And today's not gonna stop us. Right, love?
Yep. Still learning. Really hard to do it.
You got it. You're doing really well. Nice catch.
That's the problem when you start too late in your life to try to learn how to skate.
You got it.
So how thick does ice need to be to safely venture onto it? Well, it's important to understand that ice is never 100% safe. But according to the National Weather Service, a general rule of thumb is 4 to 6 inches for people and 12 to 15 inches for cars and trucks. Why are we going so far out? Well, Portage Lake has a special surprise just around the bend.
You're gonna experience what's around this bend right along with us. Oh, it's close. Oh, wow. Whoa. There it is.
The toe of Portage Glacier has retreated dramatically in the last 100 years. In 1911, it reached all the way to where we laced up our skates. Now, the only way to see the glacier in the summer is by boat tour. Of course, in the winter, if you're lucky, you can skate to it. Portage Glacier may seem static and frozen in place, but it is a dynamic force of nature in a constant state of change. Even in winter, sections of ice can calve from the toe, breaking the ice closest to it. For that reason, we keep our distance and are surprised others are comfortable venturing so close. We skated Tern Lake in October. Now it is January. Why did Portage Lake freeze so much later than Tern Lake? Well, Portage Lake is deep, very deep. The glacier itself carved this valley, and the lake beneath us reaches to an astounding 600 feet deep. Though it's not just depth that comes to play here, it's also the weather. And that brings us back to the question of wild ice and the conditions it requires to form. There's an important piece of information you must know to tie it all together. Obviously, this region has seen a great deal of snowfall this winter, but over the last 2 weeks, there has been no fresh snowfall, very little wind, and a brutal cold snap. That is the secret of wild ice. It requires still waters and deep, protracted cold. Only then can ice crystals grow in clean, crystalline, transparent formation, undisturbed by currents, wind, or slurrying snowfall. At this end of the lake, we hear more of those otherworldly pings, booms, and echoes within the ice. They are unsettling, but beautiful. The frozen surface of a lake acts just like the head of a drum, a thin membrane stretched over a resonating chamber. When the ice expands and contracts, cracks shoot across the membrane, triggering vibrations that we may not always feel, but we certainly can hear. From here, we can see the entire 14-mile Portage Valley Isthmus and the Tern Arm far in the distance. Once upon a time, Portage Glacier filled the entire valley. Now, this narrow 14-mile stretch of land is all that connects the Kenai Peninsula to mainland Alaska. The longest highway tunnel in North America pierces through Maynard Mountain to my right. We traveled through that tunnel in episode 14 and learned all about its fascinating history, including that of the town it leads to, Whittier, tucked just on the other side of this narrow pass. That is Prince William Sound in the distance, and the historical importance of this small stretch of land cannot be overstated. Long before the tunnel, the foot trail over this pass was used extensively by traders, settlers, and native groups. It bridged the otherwise insurmountable barrier of the Chugach Range and provided a link between Prince William Sound and paths to the interior. The journey included a trek down Portage Glacier, which at that time provided a convenient off-ramp to the valley below, hence the name.
Well, this is right up there with top life experiences. It's pretty cool to skate right up to a glacier. But you don't want to get too close because ice can crack off the glacier and fall into the ice and break the ice close up to it. So you want to get close, but not too close.
As we make our way back, we are still pinching ourselves that we were able to come here and have this experience.
You okay?
Our wild ice adventures seem the fitting companion to the other grand adventure this winter holds in store. Throughout Season 1, there has been a place that we keep passing by, casting longing glances and wishing we could visit up close and personal. Just where and what could this be? Well, place your bets, and we'll see you next time on Art We There Yet. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a like.
Subscribe to our channel.
Send us a comment below, and for exclusive content and a behind-the-scenes view of the Art We There Yet journey,
Join us on Patreon.
see you over on Patreon.